Actually, it's kind of nice. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. See if you look, that this light's pretty good. That light's almost too much.
Okay.
Because if you look at it now. See, that's not bad.
What are you doing?
And it's like, I have all the notifications on. Why can't I find a video? Because I wasn't online. I wasn't live until just now.
And now you are live.
And now I'm live. Live from the traditional stormy weather of Newport. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If it sounds like death here, it's because there's no background noise whatsoever. Just letting you guys know. It's quiet. I can hear crickets farting right now. Crickets.
Well,
crickets.
I
farting.
didn't.
Farting. Can you hear that? Wait.
Hey.
Can you hear that? That was a cricket farting. That was a cricket after eating Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah. Rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hola, Miguel. I figured I'd get Latino on you. Hello, Miguel. Hola.
Would Michael be pronounced Miguel?
It would be Miguel.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. I'm cousins to the Mexicans. It's all good. It's Miguel. Like Joseph is Jose. Did you know that? No. There's something new. You learn something new every day. And inside with Moonshadow.
Okay.
So Michael, how are you? How's things? Now, this is what we have for weather today. This is why we're not outside.
Not cold.
Because it is.
It's cold.
It's like Seattle weather. Which means
No, Seattle.
manic depression or frustrated mess. Bow, now, now, now. But yeah, it's kind of like that. But it's a pleasure seeing you, Michael. I'm glad you're here. We are broadcasting from the lovely Newport Hotel and Suites in Newport, Rhode Island. And these are pretty nice digs for the most part. They're pretty kicking. Like a little dinette. They've got a little kitchen. They've got a little living room. They've got a bathroom with a jacuzzi tub. I'm telling you, this is pretty nice. Yes. So how's the weather over where you are, Michael? Is it chilly? Is it nipply? Is it nipply chilly? That sounds kind of like a meal. Oh, I'll have some chili nipply.
Okay. Posted the link to the live stream in the post.
There we go. And I think people are coming in right now.
Yay.
There's Anna.
Yay.
Has warmed up there. Oh, cool. It's warm in here, but outside it was cold.
Code.
But seriously,
Code.
it was not. We haven't even been out yet because it's so damn cold.
Hey.
It's so damn cold. There be stalactites hanging off my nipples.
Moon would probably be okay. I would probably die like 5%.
She would be a RL sickle.
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear how such wonderful weather it is outside. I'll give you a preview.
You hear that howling wind? The wind's howling through the plains. No, I'm just kidding. I'll stop now.
Good thing they have a indoor pool. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
That'd be good. You're sitting above a heat vent. Ooh, those are like hot cross buns or toasty buns or something like that.
I had to approve my own comment. That's weird.
You have to approve your own comment? That's good. That's the internet. This is my point.
I wonder if it's the weather. Do you think the weather could affect it?
I don't know.
But you're good now. You're back.
But I'm back.
You're
Back like a heart attack. So, how is everybody doing? How's the weather there? How are you? How's life treating you? How's things?
How's your soul?
How's your soul feeling today? Just a little comic humor. But anyway.
48 degrees, but it says it feels like 28.
Yeah, see, it's 48 degrees here in Newport, but it feels like nipple. So it's 48 degrees, but it feels like 28 degrees.
Or 40 degrees, but it says it feels like 28 degrees.
Yes. And let me tell you, I opened the door, and it felt like 20 degrees.
Oh,
Definitely.
it's supposed to rain tomorrow, too.
Fantastic.
What the poop?
That's spectacular. But we have an interesting show today. I was inspired. But we'll get to that in a momentito.
Momentito.
Yes. You're watching on your iPhone. Oh, Anna got an iPhone.
Oh, did you not have an iPhone before?
She didn't have a phone.
Oh.
She didn't have a phone. And she went from a phone to an iPhone. Now she's living large as a live streamer. Yeah, I know it's been a few months. I just figured I'd antagonize you a little bit. Like now they have the iPhone X, so you're paying a lot more money for something to mess up, and that's all cell phones. And that's all cell phones, all of them are bound to error, and I will say that, and I approve that message.
All of them are bound to error, but there are ones that work better than other ones. Like, my brother said he had a Google phone for, 6 years, and it worked amazingly, and he had no problems. He didn't get rid of it because it stopped working. He got rid of it because there was some reason why he couldn't afford it or something like that, so he had to switch to a different phone, but he was like, it was the best phone he's ever had. But I've never actually had a Google phone myself, so I don't know.
Usually whatever phone I'm using is the best phone I ever had, because I keep on getting better and better.
Right.
However, not a big fan of decisions that certain phone companies have made, but that's a whole different video. That's more like in the sense of rant videos. But I'm going to try not to go putting them rant videos on YouTube. So, nope, we don't want to bring any drama to the YouTube channel. There's already enough of that going on. So yeah. So, but that's good. At least you are now part of the 21st century. Anna, congratulations. I've seen some of your live streams. Look at you, go girl. Add a girl with the cooking skills and all that good broadcasting stuff. So, good for you. Yeah, Fairphone is actually a pretty good phone too. I was told. And the See, there's a lot of really good phones out there that they don't really talk about because, Android, Samsung, basically Samsung, Apple, kind of take forefront. But but like the blue phone, from the specs I saw on the blue phones, that's BLU phone. Those are pretty good too. They get pretty good specs. But again, it's all about the service. It's really not about the phone. It's really more about the service and the user's ability or what they want, how they want to access their phone. Like I dig the BlackBerry Hub. Can we see beautiful Ariel on screen too? Hang on. We're gonna go for a ride.
I'll go to you.
Dun 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 dun.
Hi.
Ah!
Hi. Hello.
She's like, hello.
Goodbye.
She went away. But anyway.
It's okay. I promise there will be videos of us too.
She's in
later.
producer mode. Well, we are working
because
on.
we are going to film a video together.
We are working on a collab show. It may be on. It's probably going to be on Ariel's YouTube. At least that's what we've spoken about so far. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen before this week is up because, as you know,
the weird thing is I'm not camera shy. I just don't want to take over his show. Like I don't want to intrude.
Do you want to be a guest host on Inside with Moonshadow? You can go ahead. I'll be the producer. I'll be like, no, the lights. Do you want the audio?
Do you want me to
the audio?
Moonshadow?
The audio. It'd be like Insight with Ariel, pretending to be Inside Moonshadow.
You know there would be a heck of a lot of ums in there.
There'd be a lot of ums. There'd be a lot of ums. I'd be like, well,
Yeah, you guys
then,
wonder why I do so many jump cuts in my videos? It is the tack of the ums. I have as a filler word.
She has amitis. Hello, Jean. How are you? Welcome to the show, the broadcast. Nice to see you here on a dismal, gloomy Monday evening. And you figure it's only almost 5 o'clock, and look how dark it is outside already. Holy moly! It's very dark, man. It's kind of scary. There's like ghosts and goblins floating out the window and stuff. It's crazy.
Hi, Jean.
Bing, bing, bing. Badoo.
Badoo.
Okay. Burr, 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 burr. All right.
And yes, we are working on merchandise. We just have
And
to
yeah, we
get
are
the
working.
logo first.
Yeah, we are working on merchandise. We're
We want
closer.
the logo to be perfect.
We're closer. We're closer to a logo. We're closer. And I can get you guys abreast.
What?
I mean, give you a clue or bring you up to snuff to what's going on so far. Yes, we're looking at a lot of new changes coming up. We're just looking at implementing them and how to implement them on the show. So you're going to see some interesting new changes, and hopefully this week, because this week's going to happen. But other than that, there is also merchandise on the way as well. We're looking at merchandise, and we're looking at probably, maybe your collab videos can have a lot of sunshine and crystals and just good juju. Well, that would be great. That would be cool. That would be cool. We still have to figure out the topic for the collab show and all that good stuff, because it's going to be...
I already have a topic that I want to...
So basically, it's going to be, Ariel will be the hostess, and I will be like co-hosting.
I'll be the hostess with the mostest snacks.
She'll be the hostess with the mostest ums.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll be the Ed McMahon. Sort of. So so we're looking at that. Let's see here. See, I get an Say it's an homage to Ariel. I just said an just for you. So merchandise definitely. Also, we're looking at a lot of new changes regarding. They try to be all good things. We try to make things all good, for sure. And also, happy November, everyone. So, if you want to be lazy and not shave at all, even women cannot shave. True. In fact, I know a couple of girls that usually won't shave during November, but I won't go into details. But
it's not me.
And it's fall anyway. It's fall, so no one sees you from your waist down, and very few of them have a mustache, so that works out. Well, yeah, but see the skirt, yeah, but now it's kind of when it's colder, less likely you will be wearing a skirt, less likely you'll be wearing shorts, less likely that people will see your legs. So yeah, that's why November is good for everyone. So I'm at week 2, and I'm already looking like I'm out of the forest, or I'm out of wee Dublin or something. Sweater tights are a whole thing.
Yeah, I want to get some.
So it's all kinds of fashionista type stuff.
Yeah,
but if it's a sweater tight, now you know how a sweater, unless it's all one piece, they have holes in them.
No, it's
so
like
doesn't air like blow up in them and then you get a draft?
No.
In places?
No, it's like cable knit. Like it has patterns, but it's like a. Like
but doesn't air get all in little nooks and crannies and then give you a little draft in places you might not want?
No, because it's no.
Unless there's a liner. No, they're warm. She's correct. Is there a liner in there to make sure that you don't get drafts up in places?
Yeah, they're kind of like fleece lined.
Okay, if they're lined, then we're good. But
yeah, they're
if
like fleece lined leggings, but they're like tight.
No, I meant fleece lined, like on the inside. Like this is one piece, right? This is all one piece. This is like. Yeah. But if I had a sweater,
it has
like an Irish sweater.
In it. Yeah.
Marisha, hello. Nice to see you. And I really like your sunset picture on your profile. You rock. That is moon approved. I don't know why. I'm just biased. I'm just a little biased with the sunrises and sunsets.
You really like the colors.
I look at the colors because the colors are really good.
He's a sunset color person. And he also has a summer skin tone, so that makes sense.
And I have a summer skin tone, apparently. So any makeup I wear has to be summer.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's just you have a more yellow undertone in your skin. So you guys.
We're getting into the fashion. We're getting to the fashion stylings of cool and warm tones.
Yeah, we will have a conversation about
all that good stuff
at the after show. But.
Oh, what? Oh, see, you wear them with the underdunders. Oh, the underwears? You mean like the underoos?
What?
The underdunders? I like that. I like that term. With the fuzzy face and the lovely eyes. Who?
You.
Oh, me? No, I'm just fuzzy. I'm just furry. That's just me. Just furry.
You look handsome with your face shaved or non-shaved.
Well, thank you for all that, Bob. I'm just me.
Well, oh my goodness, now you're saying things I don't approve of.
Yeah. But Marisha, welcome. And welcome, guys. Now, without a further ado, or further ado don't, we'll get this thing started. Just say thank you, Moon. Thank you, Moon.
Thank you. Okay. I have the tea ready when you're...
Hot tea.
When you're ready. Oh, someone's vacuuming. Oh, it's gone. I think it's funny the cricket sound happened right after...
There's the cricket. I hear cricket. And a well, definitely. Okay, so let's get this party started. Well, welcome to Inside the Moonshadow. I am Moonshadow. I am an Integrative Holistic Therapist, CHI-vangelist, earthy, crunchy guy, and I've got more certifications than the uncertifiable. Yes, I am certifiable and certified, but that's another story. But welcome to the show. Welcome to Inside the Moonshadow. We have episode 96 today, and we're looking at November 13th. So hopefully on November 11/11, at 11/11, you did something, like a little ceremony. Hopefully you did something to bring in the abundance and new beginnings, because 11/11 is all about new beginnings. So, just to let you know, and it doesn't have to be 11/11 or November 11/11, I just made it more intense. You could do that with 11/11 in the morning or 11/11 at night, because 11/11 is all about bringing in new things. No problem. So, yesterday, while having some dinner, I was inspired by a particular a show. Now, this show was basically it was a very inspiring show, and it choked me up. No big surprise, because a lot of that heartfelt stuff does touch me in a big way. But it was the show was about courage in sports. And this kind of initiated and inspired me to have this particular show topic today. All about courage in adversity, courage in the way the world is today. So, courage, what does that mean? So, I'll give you a clue. I'll give you a little hint on what the show is all about. They were all a bunch of Paralympians, with the varied degrees of challenges, such as, I need to get rid of something. 1 second. I'll just do this. Hang on. Sound. Okay. That works. Excellent. But, so this was courage in sports. So these Paralympians decided to go out of their own comfort zone to teach other girls that had other challenges, not necessarily the same challenges of theirs, to do something, to be out of their comfort zone, to do something courageous, to do something new, to do something beyond. Okay? Now, Ariel is saying courage to me is doing something even though you don't feel like you're able to, or offered to, or wanted to. I'm adding words there. Why? Because the chat goes by real quick sometimes. But the whole part of that, though, is there was, like, for example, there was one girl that was a Paralympian, and she has no legs. from her knees down. So she had prosthetic legs, right? So what did she do? She actually rappelled from a cliff, from a mountain, okay? With this girl as her mentee, which had other challenges, of course, but she fell. She fumbled quite a bit. But it's hard enough. Any one of us probably would have fumbled as well, having two natural legs. Never mind with her having none. But the point of it is she was doing something out of her comfort zone. She was doing something to instill hope and courage into someone much younger than her, because we need a lot of courage and we need a lot of hope, especially nowadays. I don't have to get into the landscape of how things are. You all see the news. You all see what's going on. So I don't have to tell you what's happening. You have to pretty much live in a rock or in a cave. Or want to not know what's happening. Because between social media, between the news, between all these other things, propaganda, lies, and all of that, you're going to find a lot of information. Some of that information is true. Some of that information is scripted, like a reality TV show. Welcome to the world today. But ultimately, it's something where people are standing up. People are standing up and moving forward, getting out of their own comfort zone, speaking their minds. They're doing protesting. They're actually trying to be the good in the world. They're actually doing the job of where other people in power should do and don't, out of ego, greed, narcissism, whatever it may be. But there are other people, everyday people, that are stepping up and taking the reins and saying, if you're not doing it, I will. And most of those people are doing it out of their without the comfort of their comfort zone. So if you really think about it, also too, like recently in the news, I can give you a little insight with Moonshadow News. It's not news breaking. It was on this morning, but the shooting in Texas, they decided to make the whole church a memorial. Painted everything. They took everything out. They painted it, and they put a single rose on every white chair. So if you walk in, it's all white. The whole inside of the church is white. And on each chair, for each person that was shot and killed, they put one single red rose in each chair. And that's their memorial. Now, without getting into a major commentary, which I probably totally couldn't do that for 2 hours on that, but we shouldn't need memorials. A lot of the stuff that's happening shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be. People, common sense was already rare, but now common sense is out the window. No one, or very few people, know common sense anymore. And I have to say it's a big unfortunately on that. But looking at it from that perspective, okay, now Jean is saying courage is fighting health challenges and being the strongest person and fight. And I agree. Being strong is not necessarily being mean. Being strong is really about getting past your comfort zone and making it work. Now, Anna, you're gonna have to put that back in the chat, please. So just copy and paste that and put it back in. Oh wait, we got a phone. Okay, I remember reading that the pastor saying that he didn't want to open the church back as a working church. This sounds like a good solution, and I would say yes. I probably would have done the same thing and moved the location or moved the church if the lot was big enough. Move the church over and make that a memorial. But the whole point is this, though. Why is this happening? Now, that's probably a topic of a whole new show, to be honest. But let's get back on topic, on courage in adversity. How having courage out of your comfort zone helps you grow and helps you better yourself, helps you become stronger, better, more mindful. Because let's face it, pain is never good. I've heard people say, and I know people like this, I've heard people say, oh, I thrive on stress. Regardless whether you thrive on stress, regardless if you thrive on stress or not, there's no need for it. You're doing what you can with what you got, but no need for it, right? And yes, I'm going to agree with you, Anna. There is some form of evil that exists, but there's also, and again, without going into a tangent, a lot of what's going on too is lack of good health care. Because there are people slipping through the cracks that are not well. There are a selective few that are just certifiably evil, or people that do not, they're miserable and they want to cause harm to others. That does happen, and that is true. However, there are far more people that don't know how to be able to function in the world because they have no support system. So am I supporting these people that are causing atrocities? No. But I am saying, though, some of these people, not all, if they want, 50 automatic weapons and they're shooting down people like human targets out there, that's a bit much. There's probably a lot more than mental illness there. But ultimately, this is part of the reason why we need to stick together. This is part of the reason why it's better to be good than not be. This is why it's better to be selfless than selfish. This is why it's better to be, within the world and help people, lift people up instead of stepping on people and bringing them down. And this is why we're talking about courage today. Because there are some days I don't have the courage to get out of bed. It's true. But I do. There are health issues that all of us have to deal with. And yes, Anna, like law-abiding nature as opposed to breaking the rules. But even I'm a bit of a rule bender. I'm not going to lie. I tend to bend the rules. I tend to rewrite the rules. Because to me, they're guidelines. However, there are certain sacred rules that you just do not cross. And I would rather, unless I absolutely have to, I would not take someone's life. No, you go after my family or something, you go after someone I care about, well, that's different. I will protect them to the fullest. Yeah, but even if you think about that, even laws, a lot of people that follow the laws, the people that write the laws, don't necessarily follow it themselves. Just a little moonshade for you. How many people that actually write the legislation follow the legislation? Think about that. Think about that. But now, in the case of being, at this point, I don't think anyone is fully in their comfort zone anymore. I don't think that exists so much anymore. So unless you live on a deserted island, devoid of any kind of human interaction, where you're not going to be hurt, your feelings aren't going to be hurt, or you don't have any electricity, you're off the grid, all of that, unless you're completely devoid of being connected, you're going to be uncomfortable. Or upstate New York, or Rochester, or Rockport, or Brockport. But ultimately, this is the thing. So, why be courageous? Yeah, the Brockport. So why do we need to be courageous? Why step out of your comfort zone? Because that's where growth happens. If you really think about it, that is where growth happens. I wouldn't be here right now speaking to all of you if I didn't push myself into the uncomfort zone. Most of my life has been uncomfortable. In the uncomfort zone. Why? Because it's too easy in the comfort zone. You don't have to talk to people in the comfort zone. You don't have to do things in the comfort zone. You don't have to watch what you don't want to watch. You can do whatever you want. But you don't learn. I remember talking to someone just recently, going back a little bit ago, and they were never raised, ever, with anyone of color. Ever. They didn't know of anybody. They knew they existed, but they never knew of anybody of color. Now, I'm a color, you're a color, we're all a color, right? Obviously. But I'm talking about people that are African American descent. Or more tan than me. But the thing was, since they were never, their comfort zone was to be with a bunch of people that were like them. And is opaque. No, I won't think so, Anna. But they were never raised with people of color. But the thing is this, though. How far could they grow? And Ariel's a ghost, by the way. You can see right through. But how would they fare in the world today, in this world of diversity? Cultural diversity, different walks of faith, different walks of life, people from all over the world. If you look at it, you watch TV nowadays, you watch just regular commercials nowadays. You see people from all over the world. And I applaud that. I think they probably did it for the reasons of wanting cultural diversity. I myself, I'm going to pick the high road. I'm going to say they did the right thing because they're showing a proper blueprint or thumbnail sketch of the world today. We have people that are interfaith. We have people that are intersex. We have people that are transgender. You got males. You got females. You got people of different color. You got people gray hair, people black hair, purple hair, blue hair, whatever. And Anna only gets tan when she was pregnant. So guess what? If she's pregnant, if she get a tan, she's got a bun in the oven. Just saying. So if any of you see Anna with a tan, you go, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? But anyway. But see, this is what boils down to is that having courage to look at adversity in the face and say, you know what? Yeah, things aren't great, but I'm going to have the courage to move forward. I'm going to have the courage to move up. Like, for example, let's see here. All right. I just did a little producing. Isn't that funny?
Stealing my job.
She's like, you're stealing my job. But I want to read you all something. Now, this is spiritual. This is not under any denomination whatsoever. But hear these words. Hear them to the fullest of their capacity. God grant me. Now, fill in the blank. God, Creator, Great Spirit, All Father, All Mother, whatever you want to do. Hubert, Flying Spaghetti Monster, whatever you want to put in there, fill it in. Fred? Yeah, God Fred. But God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking as he did his sinful world as it was, as it is, not as it would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Amen. Now, granted, that's a little more swayed over to Christianity or Catholicism in that kind of way. But thinking about just the beginning part of that, which we all know and we all heard of, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So, situation is bad. It's bad, you can't change it. You blew a tire, you're on the side of the road, you can't change that you blew a tire on the side of the road. You got to accept it, right? So you got to accept those, you got to accept that adversity. The courage to change the things if you can. Do you have a spare? Great. You don't have a spare? Hopefully you get AAA. That's all I can say with that. But to accept it, and you have to have the courage to want to change it if you could. Find the out, find the solution, find the way. Dig deep and get that inner oomph inside you and pull it out of you and make it happen. We know people like that. All of us know people like that. That no matter how bad things are, no matter how bad things get, we push. Yep, change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, Michael, because that is the last of it, is the wisdom to know the difference. So, accepting courage and wisdom. Serenity, courage, and wisdom. Now, I can tell you, I'm not an organized religion person, even though I'm a minister, and I'm a very spiritual person. Organized religion isn't my thing. Why? Because there are too many rules. The way they have it all set up is for their own benefit most of the time, and that's okay. I honor and cherish, and I can go into any service and hear the message of the Great Spirit. So I'm happy with that. But this prayer can go anywhere. You put Great Spirit, grant me the serenity, it's native. You put, Mother Mary, Mother Mary. You put God, you put God. You put All Father, if you're a Viking and Nordic, you can do that. But this is the whole point of it, is that nowadays we need to muster all the courage we have to be able to change the things we need to do. We no longer have that comfort bubble. We no longer have that space where we can say, oh no, I refuse to see it. We don't have that anymore. Now we have no choice. Now, this is the sad part. Oh, and here we go. The definition of courage is the ability to do something that frightens one or strength in the face of pain or grief. Nowadays, we have to have courage. That's like a prerequisite for life. If there was an owner's manual at all, you need to suck it up and deal with it, right? You got to move forward. You got to get up. Like that old Zen proverb, which is another one of my favorites. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That's talking about courage too. Now, last night, to see these incredible women with all challenges of their own, doing something out of their comfort zone. Now, these are Paralympians, right? These are Paralympians. These are champions in their own genre of sport. Amazing, amazing strong women. I was like, these women are phenomenal. One had no arm. She just had a little tiny stub. And she's a Paralympian. Now, Ariel is saying we need bravery and courage to function in a scared world. And Michael is saying that's a daily thing. And it's true. To rise up and lift yourself every day. Lift others. Very much like when you're on a plane and the plane's going, there's trouble or turbulence when the gas masks come down. they say to put your mask on first. I had an issue with that at first, but then I realized why. Because it's something I've always practiced and preached after a while of realizing the mistake I made. And it was a mistake. It was a mistake. It was a lesson, a hard lesson I had to learn. Was, you are only as strong to others as you are strong to yourself. So if you are not courageous to yourself, then it's harder for you to be courageous with others. And if you really think about that, that's powerful stuff. If you're willing to go to bat and get up and do something. Now, I can honestly say, with a lot of you, and I won't single out anybody, but just in social media, there are a few people here that will put out something, put out a post to provoke. And I applaud you for that. To provoke or instigate thought or ask for something to say, hey, look, this person needs help. Or we could use this. And that's another important thing too. And the daily thing, and to be honest with yourself as well. Courage is not the only thing, but you have to be honest with yourself too. And accept what you cannot change, right? You have to accept what you cannot change. I cannot change that I am my age. I can try to pretend. I can dye my hair. I could act like I'm 15. Well, that's sometimes. But anyway, but the bottom line is I'm not going to change who I am. Who I am is who I am. You can't change the strips on a tiger, even if you bleach it. Right? So that's the thing. So to be courageous, to be stronger, even though you don't feel the strength. Like, for example, as well, and I'm gonna throw this over my producer, whoosh, to find the the Dr. Seuss quote, so I don't butcher it. But I believe it's "You are you, that's truer than true." And she'll pop that up in about 2 seconds because she's good at that. I kind of did my own production for a second, and she was like, "Hey." She's like, "What? I'm over here, you know." So yeah. But it's Dr. Seuss quote, and again, it's another one, very whimsical, but so profound and so true. So, see, now this is why I could have just, but I give her work, keep her busy. It's good stuff. So, but yes, some social media outlets are more attuned to voicing opinions than others. Facebook and my in-laws aren't if they want it to be a happy place. Exactly. And you know what, too? There's also people that put up criticism and put up gossip and that kind of thing. Now, Dr. Seuss, I have to say, Dr. Seuss, Einstein, okay, there we go. Today, you are you. That's truer than true. There's no one alive who is youer than you. We are in a world that we try too hard to be someone else. So I'm me, and I decide I want to be like Michael. I'm not Michael. I'm me, right? But I want to be like Michael. And Michael wants to be like, I don't know. He wants to be like Puff the Magic Dragon. And Puff the Magic Dragon isn't happy with their identity, so they want to do something else and be someone else. So this tends to be part of the problem, right? So you are youer than you, right? So now you have to discover you. You have to actually, oh, see, there you go. Michael wants to be John Cena. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't seen wrestling in so long. I miss it. Oh, see? And Puff the Magic Dragon. But ultimately, this is the thing, though. Unfortunately, people don't really follow this kind of like serenity prayer, or they're too busy. They're too busy wearing the mask that they wear. So they may act courageous, but eventually it falls off. So this is part of the being courageous. This is part of stepping up. This is part of moving yourself to a new level, propelling yourself to a new level. I will tell you this. Not like you have a choice, I'm going to tell you anyway, but anyway. Most of my major leaps in life, I was probably the lowest I could possibly be. And no, we're not going to turn this to be karaoke with Moonshadow.
Karaoke.
I call it karaoke.
Karaoke.
Or, I'm going to blow your minds right now. Ready? I'm going to drop the mic on this one. I call it karaoke.
Oh, no.
Wow. Boom.
Oh, my God.
Anyway. This is what happens when your producer's in the same room. Trails happen. And she ends up getting on me. I don't say it all wrong. Actually, it's karaoke. Or karaoke. Or if you're in France, it'd be karaoke. So yeah. And again, I am me. That's what you gotta do. But see, this is the thing. So, yeah, rabbit holes. So now, if you really, really, really think about it, see, now I'm annoying. See, the great thing about this, though, is I can toss things now.
Oh my God. No!
Like that. But anyway. Head desk, yeah. There is a something that I used to have in my old office. And in my old office was a piece of paper, and it said stress reliever, and had a bullseye, and you put it on the wall, and it says hit, bang head here. I used to have that in my office. I never used it because that'd probably be not good. Jingly jangly, timey-wimey thing. It's not good. And by that time I'd be like, but this is the whole point. Now, of course, there's always a lesson in Interview with the Moonshadow. Always a lesson. Always a lesson. So now if you think about it, being courageous doesn't necessarily mean you're courageous while people are looking. Doesn't mean when the cameras are on, you're like, hey. Like Gaston and Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I'm talking about the animation. Gaston. That's what I say, Gaston. So, you look at him, right? He was pompous and, I'm a hero. He really wasn't. He was a kind of douche nozzle. But anyway, the point of it is, you don't have to do something when people are watching. You want to be courageous to yourself. That is when you want to, exactly, integrity, when you are who you are when no one's looking. Absolutely. There are days that are really, really difficult. I did a Jedi hand move. But there are days, sometimes you just have to think about it, and you've had a rough day, you're having a rough day, it's a rough start already, and the first thing you say is, how can I make my day better right now? How can I make it better? And sometimes you just don't feel it. The struggle is real, for sure. But what happens? We find a way. One step, one move, one thing. And this is important. This is the important thing. So this is why, should you be courageous to make a point, or should you be courageous to be a mentor? Absolutely. Should you set the bar higher? Absolutely. You do. But also, too, you need to set the bar higher because you want to do that and because it's for your best as well. So you need to be courageous. You need to set that bar no matter what, because you can set it here, fall here, but you're still moved up. right? So all of that's important. All of that's important. So courage in adversity, stepping out of your comfort zone. There are days, and like I said, I go to restaurants and I say, just order something for me. I ask the server to just order whatever. How many people do you know do that? Just like, and that's true, shoot for the moon, even though you miss it, you'll land among the stars, and it's true. That used to be a Star Search, I just showed my age, but that used to be a Star Search variety show quote as well. But the thing is, if you propel yourself, if you move a step forward, then you're no longer in the space that you were in. So that's why you want to set the bar. Right? So when you set the bar, you don't want to set some, I want to be an astronaut. Like 9 out of 10. Could I be an astronaut? Damn, Skippy, I can. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it probable? Less likely. Doesn't mean I can't try. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy the experience. Doesn't mean that I can't be courageous enough or strong enough or intrigued enough to go to NASA and say, hey, I want to be the first psychic moon shaman dude on the moon. The moon on the moon. Dude. Yeah, but see, that I would get in trouble because I'd want to bring a moon rock back. No joke. It's a fact. I would want to bring back part of the moon. I'm not even kidding. And I'd go out there without oxygen just to get us a little sample, just to get a little piece. I would so do it.
You're not allowed.
Trying to stop me.
No,
it's like, hey, I'm just opening the door for a second.
No.
We will depressurize, dude. We're all gonna die. I'm just gonna reach out and grab a rock. Dude, just relax. And I would try it. And again, there are laws and rules that kind of, go against that sort of thing. Oh, yeah, there you go. And Jean's saying courage completed all things to do nursing. So, yeah, so nurses have it tough. I will say that. I know quite a few. And I've even had people in my family become nurses. And I'll tell you, it's no joke. It's like going to medical school. No one can control the Moonshadow, just saying. Not possible. I am a primal force to be reckoned with. That's what it is. Why all of a sudden I became Russian, I don't know why. There's no collusion. No collusion. I love Russians. And I do. I love everyone. I think everyone, there's good and not so good in everyone. So you have to focus on the good. So yeah. So that's one of those things. But ultimately this is it. Is to be in the adversity that we're in the world we are today, in our own lives, there are things that happen all the time, and they're not within our control. This is kind of like the zombie apocalypse, yet they're not zombies, they're just really foolish people that don't think. Right? Those are the zombies. Mindless zombies. Why, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. And Jean's saying she loves her nursing job, working with cancer children. And you know what? I will tell you, I have the hardest time if I see something with kids, I just lose it. I do. Why? Because they are amazing spirits. They are incredible spirits. And honestly, they ultimately are the future. So, and I will say this. If I know an unruly child, our world was built on unruly. Seriously. Society was built on unruliness too, but it went a wrong direction. They kind of went unruly and disrespectful and narcissistic. But exactly, the mission, the misfits and the visionaries really shaped the world. Beethoven wasn't accepted very well. Neither was Einstein. And I applaud you, Gene, for still fighting, everything that you fight with your health stuff. Oh, that's right too. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. That's right. And there's a lot of, I have to give a lot of credit to those people, to those doctors and those nurses that do their damnedest to bring a smile to a kid's face, because sometimes you just can't make it any better. If it's terminal, it's terminal. But I will say this, and this is one of the reasons why I get so emotional when I see these shows, people that go through incredible adversity and push themselves further beyond their scope of meaning and athleticism and physicality and emotional strength, everything. The reason why I applaud them, the reason why I get so choked up and emotional is because there are people that are full-bodied, able to do whatever, and they don't do squat. They give up so easily. Oh, my car got repossessed. Oh, boo-hoo. It's a repossession. You didn't lose your leg. Now, no one wants repossession. No one wants that kind of thing. It affects your credit and your credit history and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Of course. But just trying to have to put on 2 prostheses, prosthetic legs, just to go to the bathroom. Now that is a struggle. So those are the people that influence me. The misfits, the visionaries, the people that were not necessarily liked or wanted. Why? Because they're the ones that actually made things happen. I have an uncle with 1 prosthetic leg. There was somebody that was, I believe, it was Dance with the Stars. As I throw that to my producer. She was in Dance with the Stars. She had a prosthetic leg. I believe she was an athlete. But she danced and she did well. There's somebody else that just was in this season. Okay? Oh yeah, she was amazing. And there was just somebody in this season which was in a wheelchair. Amy Purdy. That's right, Amy Purdy. And she is a beautiful spirit, man. I'll tell you, for her to do that. Yep, she was a Boston Marathon runner. Yep. Had no leg, but graceful. She was incredibly graceful. I know people with both legs that aren't graceful. Seriously. They got both legs, both arms, and they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm not even kidding. But this woman, 1 prosthetic leg, and she's ballroom dancing. She's doing the cha-cha. She's doing the paso doble. She's doing all that stuff. And Victoria Arlen is the one that learned to walk again. She was told that she could never walk. She was in a wheelchair. Her muscles were atrophied. You want to talk about courage? Let's talk about courage there for a second. Victoria Arlen, okay? They said she'll never walk again. She's in a wheelchair. She was just a convict to her own chair. But what did she do? Courage. She tried to move her leg. She pushed herself. And to the point of not just pushing herself to be able to walk, to get the mail. No, she pushed herself to not only walk, but to get out of the wheelchair, to become better, and go to Dancing with the Stars. I can't even, I probably could ballroom dance if I had enough training, but I don't know about grace. It's been a long time. Dirty dancing I could do, but I don't know about ballroom dancing. That's a little too bourgeois for me, maybe. But the whole point of it is, she pushed herself past her limits. Her comfort zone could have been, I'm a cripple. And I don't like using that word. And you shouldn't either. But I don't even like using handicapped. I don't like even using that word. But the thing is, for her to get not only out of her wheelchair, but to go onto a ballroom and to push it one step further on television. And I have plans, Anna. I have plans. I got stuff. I got to do some stuff. I got to get on. I have to get on the ball. And here I am live streaming this, so I actually have accountability here. But there are a lot of things. You don't want to see that? Come on, Michael. You do. No, I'm kidding. But seriously. and when you see a couple that has been dancing for like the last 50 years, do a waltz or do a, or they're dancing, it's phenomenal. And this is the whole point. I get emotional there too. When I see an old couple holding hands, I like lose it. Now, granted, I will first and foremost say I'm a bit broken. Yeah, life kind of broke me a little bit. It has. But to see that there's still hope for that, to see, people that have been married 30, 40, 50, 60 years and still look at each other the same way as they did when they were 20, that's amazing stuff. You can't make this shit up, people. Ooh, Argentinian tango. That's like sex, but vertical. Did I say sex? Ruh-roh. Okay, beep. A little too late. But seriously though, honestly, being courageous, moving past that level of I can't do anymore. That's when I've learned more about myself. That's why I cliff dove. That's why I drove horse and carriage when I was kind of nervous about these large, majestic animals. And I plan on doing more. I want to ride an elephant.
You've never ridden an elephant?
I've never ridden an elephant.
I've ridden an elephant.
I'm not talking about the 4G club. I'm talking riding an elephant, like in Africa or Thailand or some craziness.
Oh, well, all right. Well,
we do it big here. We do it big. We just don't, it's not like, petting zoo. I pet baby, little lion cubs. I pet them.
You can't.
They try to chew my friend up. They try to chew my friend. Now, these lion cubs were the size of large dogs, by the way, or medium to large dogs. See? And Michael's saying, go big or go home. And I'm going to add to that, Michael. Go grizzly or go home. Because that's me. Oh, see? You were an elephant on your honeymoon. It was all, yeah, see? An effalump. Yeah, state fair, but that's good. That's good. And of course, I would take riding an elephant at the state fair too. It's not Africa, but I'd do it in preparation to go to Africa again and ride the elephant. But this is all part of it. Because really, if you really think about it, life is truly an adventure. It's a journey. That's why I call it Inside Moonshadow Journeys. That's why I share what I do. Because ultimately, that's really what it's all about. I try to show by example, and that's not always the easiest thing. Because that means showing vulnerability. That shows courage, that shows vulnerability. That shows good, that shows not so good. That shows messy, that shows polished. So ultimately, kind of how it works. See, that would be great too in India. I would love to go there. I would love to go to India and have curry there. So, Nat Geo, Travel Channel, Animal Planet. I'll even go Food Network. I'd be glad to do it. Absolutely. Oh yeah, see that this is part of it. This is where I show my courage. The courage to know that I know that life is uncertain. The courage to know that life is unscripted. The courage to know that you don't always have control. So I think it's a Zen quote, but I saw a meme with Yoda saying it. It said, to live life, you have to learn to lose it all, lose everything. You hear that typing in the background? That's my producer, working tirelessly at the keyboard.
Stop giving away my secrets.
Oh, and Indian food is amazing. The first time I tried bunny chow was in South Africa, was in Durban, which was predominantly Indian and Muslim people there. And it was phenomenal. That was the first time I tried gori. And gori is so good that you want to... And I've had curry recently. I found out that right in my own hometown, there is an Irish place, believe it or not, an Irish place that serves gori, which is cool. It's a pub and grub place. It's kind of neat. And that's the whole point. And Gene, that's exactly what you've done. You love, you lose, you trying to get everything. You try to move forward. Step up. All it takes, one step. Because like Victoria Arlen, like Amy Purdy, it took one step. One step from the wheelchair, one step away from the wheelchair, a second step away from the wheelchair. Before you know it, you're on the ballroom dance floor. You're on Dancing with the Stars. Or you're someone that's challenged physically, you become an Olympian. And then you empower other girls for strength. Now this is just common sense. Well, to me it's common sense. Common sense ain't common. But this doesn't mean gender. This doesn't mean faith. This doesn't mean age. This doesn't mean anything. Courage knows no age, knows no gender. Acceptance knows no age, knows no gender. Serenity knows no age, knows no gender. What I'm telling you about now, I was theoretically playing with when I was young. I just didn't have the gray hair to prove it. But this is the whole point of it. The stuff that you're hearing now is from my journey from way back when to now. And this is all part of it. And this is all really part of it. It's just keep on moving forward. Keep on doing what you got to do. Keep moving. Keep stepping. Keep speaking. Keep breathing. Sometimes just breathing is the way to go. I remember I put in a social post, just breathe. This is going back some years ago. It was like, I'm not going to say, it's trendy to say it went viral. It got a lot of attention. I'm not going to say it went viral, but, it just got a lot of attention. All I said was just breathe. Just breathe. Now, sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes one step is all it takes. Sometimes just one breath is all it takes. Sometimes getting out of bed is all it takes. Sometimes it's to an agoraphobic is to, just open the door and turn the knob. To live life is the rarest thing in the world. People don't just, and I lost the last word, but while getting it by the magic of television. To live life is the rarest thing in the world. Most people just exist. And it's true. That's not the quote I was saying earlier, but it's a good quote. I think it's to live, you must learn to lose everything. I think something like that. And it was a Yoda meme. And it's a Zen quote. But this is the whole point. A lot of people, they just exist. And yes, I sometimes, some days, some moments, some minutes, just exist. That's true. Because you're going to have your not so great days. You're going to have, 1% courage as opposed to 100% courage, or 2% strength as opposed to 100% strength. So if you really think about it from that point of view, it's something where just fall down 7, get up 8. Keep getting up. If that wasn't the case, then Rocky Balboa wouldn't have a statue. He was a character. He was a fictional character. And Sylvester Stallone has in Philadelphia a statue of his role as Rocky Balboa. Also, as a fun fact, a little moonsight for you, Sylvester Stallone wrote the screenplay for Rocky and was rejected. At first they were like, no, and then they signed on to it and said, sure. And he said, okay, one condition, I want to play the role. And they're like, no. You're messed up, you can't speak, you were like partly paralyzed at one point in time, you had like some kind of partial stroke, you're not an actor, you can't emote well, blah, 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 blah. All the judgment and criticism that any bourgeois higher-up executive critic in Hollywood can say. No, you're too short, too fat, you're this, do this, do that, whatever. But he persevered. He persevered in such a way that they offered him $350,000 for it and said no. And he wrote it himself. And he did it. And look at him now. So you got to give him credit. And this is the whole point. This is the whole point of it. It's hard to realize why you keep getting up. It's hard to imagine. Because I've asked myself that question too. Why do I keep getting up? Why don't I just stay down this time? Just stay down. Like in a boxing match, you're knocked out. The game is over. The fight's done. Just stay down. I guess I have a gene against that. I guess I can't do that. Because I keep getting up. And I'm not the only person that keeps doing that. I'm not the strongest person in the world. There are a lot of people out there that are much stronger than I. But the fact is, they keep getting up too. So that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of today. I wanted to be able to come on here today and just talk to you all and share. And strangely enough, what's really weird about today, is it kind of feels like, honestly, I kind of feel like I'm preaching a sermon. That kind of sounded preachy. Not preachy in a bad way, preachy in a good way. Like in a motivational, stand up and preach the word kind of way. Testifying out there for the word of the Creator. Because there are times I have watched a sermon and wanted to continue what the pastor or the minister or the priest didn't complete because there was more. Well, Michael, I am a reverend. Yes, it's true. Scarily enough, but I am a reverend. Or a reverent. So it's a little bit of both. A reverend and irreverent. But this is the thing, honestly. It's hard. It may seem easier to sit and stay down, but some of the greatest stories were built and written on people that didn't stay down. Music wouldn't have been composed. Music wouldn't have been composed if those composers that weren't accepted stayed down. People in wheelchairs wouldn't get up and learn to ballroom dance if they stayed down. Think about it. So what is in your best interest to keep stepping up or keep standing up? What is in your interest? What is in your best interest? Because you have one more moment to shine. You have one more moment to improve. You have one more moment to believe in yourself. You have one more moment to believe in others. You have another minute to be a more global citizen, to connect the world. One more moment to go further. There's also another story I saw recently in social media where there was a woman in a marathon and she was clearly fatigued. She was practically going to fall apart, and she did, and she fell. Two other runners picked her up by each side and carried her. And then a third runner, when they carried her a certain length, another runner came up and picked her up and carried her across the finish line. Now, for the sake of not losing my stuff, which I apologize if I do, because I can feel it welling up, but you know what? The world should be more like that. I'm not saying that for props. I'm not saying that for having your video go viral. I'm not saying that for winning a lottery or winning a trophy or winning a ribbon or getting a cookie. I'm not saying it for any reason other than it's just the best thing to do. We need more of that. So, what am I going to say? How can I summarize this? How can I pull this show to a close? This is what I can tell you. Ultimately, you are not your limitations. Unless you choose to be. This world has been thrown around and people decided to stay down. Instead of staying down, get back up. Use your voice. Be resounding sound. Make the change. Be the light. Even if it's not necessarily popular. more people should stand up. Not only get up, you got people that just get up, which is a big deal. But then you have people that get up and help others people get up. They help others get up. They propel others as well. And those are the people that I respect the highest. Not government. The people that will stand up for what's right. Not what's right for them, but what's right for all. And as Anna is reminding us, fall down 7, get up 8. And it's true. So, I'm really glad that you guys came in. And I want to apologize ahead of time for the craziness of the past few, I don't know, now at this point, months. Because things have been pretty challenging on my end as well. There we go. But I'm getting my stuff together here. You'll have a bunch of polished Insight with Moonshadows coming up. They're all done. They just have to be put up. They have to be put up in chronological order. I have to throw my own stuff in there. I have to do some narrations, and to be honest, I have no one to blame but myself. So, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for coming here, faithfully every week. A good chunk of people are here every week, no matter what, and I appreciate it. You promote, you throw it up in your social media. I appreciate it. You tell people about what we're doing here, and all of that means a lot. And from the bottom of my heart, I love you all for doing that. Just because I have to say I have not a huge amount of people, but they're tried and true, supportive, reliable people. So I want to say thank you for all of you. And all of you really inspire me to do what I do. Because there were days, and today was one of them, I was dragging butt. So it took courage. It took strength. It took courage. It took me, to have the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The show needs to go on. The courage to change the things I can. I need to get off my ass. And the wisdom to know the difference. If I didn't get off my ass, then there would be no show this week. And guess what? That is just on so many levels. So, as I say every week, be strong, be amazing, be you. Love you all. Take care. Peace. Now it's stuck. Yes.